Hello everyone, my name is Chandrika and today I'm going to discuss my UPSC Mains 2025 strategy as well as I have given another Mains 2024 Mains and I will share my experience, also share my book list and strategy for the next Mains. So please stay tuned in. I got my results of Mains 2025. Unfortunately, I couldn't qualify for the interview, but when exam had ended, I had done some analysis based on my exam hall experience, like actual exam day experience and how I found the paper. So I have shared that analysis with you all, as well as I have done book list slideshow as well. Also in upcoming few videos, I will be sharing my optional strategy, which is political science and international relations, as well as GS strategy. Also, I'll be sharing my online notes made on OneNote app, which are quite comprehensive and crisp. I can say that confidently about at least about PSIR notes. So I'll be doing that in next slide. But till then, I'm gonna share how I felt about my all the papers, like exam day experience. So let's begin. So this was my GS1 analysis. I did this analysis immediately after a mains exam ended because I didn't want to forget anything. Generally, this happens that if you do it like after a really long time, you forget how you felt about questions. So this is my analysis. This is exactly how I solved my question paper during the exam. So there were GS1 analysis. There were 20 questions. I didn't solve one question which was based on Chandela dynasty's architecture. Otherwise, I solved all the questions and I found paper to be easier. It wasn't like time consumer or anything. The red highlight indicates the question which I have not solved, and the yellow ones which I found a bit tricky. That's it. So this is how my analysis was. So the Chandela question was a bit, I couldn't recall at that moment. Actually, it wasn't that hard. So I wrote, I think, few lines of it. Then the French Revolution question was also this GIS question was, it is not covered in any like booklets and all that stuff. So you had to write based on your general knowledge, science and technology knowledge. So that's how it went. It was overall easier question paper and not much time consuming. I don't know my marks. Obviously, I'll get to know after a few months. But I think I would must have gotten decent marks in this question, like in this paper. The next one is the book list. So see, I think one of the like I've never run after too many sources. I have kept my book source very short and crisp because I was told by a senior from my college who had cleared the exam that don't run after too many books because you're not going to remember most of things. And I'm telling you from based on like two mains, I've written two mains, and I can tell you you won't remember a lot of things. So keep your sources short, revise it multiple times. I think every topper has told you that, but we don't follow it. But trust me, I'm saying this, once you enter examination hall, you don't have time to think. You just have to go there, see the question, and whatever knowledge you have around that question, you have to write that down. You don't have a time to think and frame answer. No, even if in classroom, I know a lot of teachers give you like fancy answers and framework and this and that, but trust me, the best way to clear mains is to write simple points, clear points, and that's it. Don't try to write a perfect fancy answer. And honestly, you don't even have a time. If you go for writing like a fancy answer, you won't complete the paper. So for GS1, this was my book list. Art and culture, I referred to 11th Fine Arts NCRT, and I had used this Tamil Nadu NCRT old one. Actually, it is very simple. The timeline is amazing. You can cover architecture also from that. If you want, I'll share the link of this notes. The Tamil Nadu NCRT, it is available online, I think, but I didn't like the new one. The old one is like simple, easy to understand, and honestly, you can't spend too much time on art and culture because the input output ratio is not that great. So it's better to stick to limited resources. Then for ancient medieval, again, I didn't do medieval much. I relied on Tamil Nadu board NCRT, again the old one. For modern history, Spectrum is the best source, and refer to PYQ like is the key. So I can tell you, like please do PYQ of last like 10 years. You have to do PYQ. Look at least if you can't write, then look into the question, the type of question. A lot of time themes are repeated. So never miss PYQ. You can miss one book, but don't miss PYQ. It is the key. Okay, so Spectrum, I relied on Spectrum. I used it for prelims as well as mains. And then PYQ is the key. Then for post-independence, to be fair, I didn't do much. 12th NCRT, I think is sufficient. Then world history, I downloaded NCRT pages from Runal website. He has, like, I think he has compiled different chapters from different NCRTs for world history, and I think they're brilliant. No need to go beyond that. Then society is a very tricky actually nowadays. If you see last couple of questions from last couple of years, the society questions are a bit tricky to answer. They are not like that easy. So they are generally, in my experience, you should read NCRT 11th and 12th for basic understanding about the society, caste system, religion, and all of that. And I think the best way is test series, reverse learning from test series, you should do that. And society answer, sometimes you might have to write them based on your general knowledge. So practice society a lot. And society is an important subject in GS1. A lot of time we ignore it, but a lot of questions are asked and they're the tricky ones. Like society questions, I always personally find tricky ones. So please read this NCERT, very important, and practice more. Then again, geography, I would say the best source is NCERTs. If you, I have made like a short notes of NCERT, which in OneNote app, I'll share that in next video. I'll share all my notes link. And these are like short notes of 6th to 12th NCERT. And if you can't, if you have a basic understanding of geography, then you can ignore 6th, you can do like 11, 12. But personally, I think if you're a first timer, then you should read at least once all these NCERTs and then stick to 11th and 12th NCERT. Also, Mrunal geography slides are the best, but do it along with NCERT. Like Mrunal geography slides are like better to understand concept because of the diagrams and stuff. Also, world geography is covered well here. So this is my book list, and I think this book list is enough. Trust me, even remembering this is going to be a task. See, when you are sitting at home and like reading 10 books, you believe that you will remember everything. But in exam hall, things are very different. It's very easy to say, oh, this paper was easy, I could have done that, when you're at home. But in examination hall, there is a pressure. Even if you're somebody who doesn't take pressure, still remembering simplest things, recalling simplest thing at that moment is difficult. So please don't run after too many sources, just stick to limited ones. Then again, next if I go for next I'll go for GS2. So this is my GS2. GS2 analysis, if you ask anybody who has given mains 2025, GS2 was quite difficult. And see, my optional is political science and international relations. So I did get a lot of help, but I would still say it wasn't easy. It was quite time consuming, not because the questions were no, like I have written the overall comment, like difficult paper, no direct questions, you needed a time to think. So bit of a time crunch I did face. So, so first question was on corrupt practices, I think. So I didn't remember, like I couldn't recall all the corrupt practices, but I wrote few of them. Then this constitutional morality question also, it was repeated theme. I think this has been asked in PYQ a lot of times, but I did like 50-50 solve kiya maine usko. And there was this question on NCPCR. Obviously, I like this is not Lakshmikant me, you will find like too few lines about it, but I wrote like generic points on it, which I'll discuss like how exactly I wrote the answer later. And these three questions, I did attempt these questions, but I think these three questions I couldn't attempt properly. So I consider it like 20 marks attempt over 250 because I couldn't solve them. Like this one I completely missed. This one I completely missed. But these two I solved like 50-50, but it wasn't a good, honestly, like attempt. Then this is my GS2 book list, again short and crisp. Polity I refer to Lakshmikant and NCERT, but let me tell you, Lakshmikant is not enough considering last like this time's GS2. I don't polity question paper. I don't think Lakshmikant is enough. You should like you might have to refer to more notes. I don't know. Like my optional was PSIR, so a lot of things were covered in that. But I think you would have to go beyond Lakshmikant to understand the concepts. That's it. Then there was social justice. I referred to Ayram's yellow book, and I complemented it with newspaper like current issues. For governance, again, Vajram Yellow Book, newspaper issues, and international relation, again, my PS optional was PSIR, so I relied on my PSIR notes. And even, you know, the interesting part, GS2, IR was also like not, your IR was also like a bit tricky this time, I think, for people who don't have it as an optional. So I'll be sharing my optional notes in maybe next video. Then moving on, so this is my, see, all this book list should be complemented with, again, I'm telling you, PYQ, very important. You should not ignore PYQs. This is the key, like do last 10 years ka PYQ, do the analysis, find the themes. Themes are always repeated. Don't ignore the themes. Like you will see constitutional morality question has been asked before. Some themes in judiciary are repeated. So do that analysis and don't rely on like spoon feeding. I think, I personally believe you should do that analysis on your own. Don't like use the coaching classes ka notes. I think it is a good brainstorming session for you if you do it on your own. So please do it on your own. Like 10 years question papers is enough, I think. Then GS3. This is again my analysis of exam day analysis of GS3. I attempted the entire question paper. For me, I think it was like moderate. It was good, not bad. I didn't like, I found it nice, even though I couldn't solve like a lot of questions like properly 100%. So this is my analysis. I attempted entire question paper. Overall, my experience was moderate. I attempted all questions. I didn't face any time crunch. So these yellow highlighted questions are the ones which I didn't like wrote properly, even though I filled all the pages, but I couldn't like write exact perfect answer. So the one like ITR, so international experiment, India's contribution to ITR experiment, I knew what ITR was, nuclear fusion experiment, but I didn't know like exactly what was India's contribution. I knew that India is a part of it, Indian scientists are working for it, but I couldn't recall, or maybe I didn't know like what exactly scientists of India did. I knew they did some like thing, but I couldn't recall it. Then again, the question number 11 was related to fiscal health index. Uh, Again, I used my logic, economy understanding, concept understanding to answer this question, because again, exactly fiscal health index ke parameters and everything I didn't know. Then production linked incentive scheme, again I knew the scheme, about the scheme, I knew about the drawbacks, but I didn't know like what achievements have happened, but I wrote like generic points about how it contributed to semiconductor industry and all of that. Then again, INDC question, India's contribution, INDC, I couldn't, no, this was actually, it's my fault. This was an easy question. I should have remembered all INDC. Maybe because of pressure or whatever, I couldn't remember all of them, but I still wrote what is INDC, how India has progressively increased its INDCs and all of that. So this was my, and I think I did well in GS3, sorry, in GS3. Again, this was my book list for GS3 economy. I think Shriram is the best. I personally believe a lot of mains questions can also be solved from Shriram IS. So stick to Shriram IS. I think they have done really good job. Apart from that, for environment, I did Shankar IS PPTs that I found online. Somebody had made. Sorry, I forgot whose PPT I referred to, but I'll tell it in the next slide. So Shankar IS PPTs I referred to for environment. For science tech, I used class notes. So I had taken Forum IS science and tech. I used Forum IS science and tech notes because I had joined their class, like current affair class. So I don't, so yeah, I use this, and I think these were good notes. Again, you have to know the current issues in science and technology, like semiconductor, very important. We know chip war and all of that. Semiconductor is very important, and I think question was asked on National Semiconductor Mission, if I remember correctly. Then disaster management. Again, see, this is like bit tricky. So I had read Vision Eyes notes. I I read it only once. These are I think good enough, and use PYQ plus I think topper copies, very important. And again, internal security, I refer to Ajaram. See, all of this has to be complemented with PYQ plus current affairs. I'll share how I did my current affairs, but this video will become too long. So let's stick to this much only. So this is my strategy. See, in all this book list, you have to complement it with PYQ and current issues. That is very important, and most important, personally, I believe I have benefited the most from topper copies. Like this is very important. Do topper copies, study topper copies. They are extremely important. Like in my PSIR answers, actually I could write a lot of answers because I had read this topper copies again and again. Like I must have read it like 10 times, this topper copies. So PYQ, and I personally believe apart from the static sources, PYQ and topper copies is the key. Please do it thoroughly. You can do this topper copy thing later on. First, if you are beginning, then first read basic books. Keep looking at PYQ. Initially, they may not make sense to you, but as you go on reading, after 2 readings, you will understand the themes and stuff. But like keep it with you, PYQs. About essay ethics and PSIR, I think we'll cover it in the next video because this will become too long. Already, I think it's a long video. So I'll share my essay. I think with less efforts, I did well in essay. Ethics, I think this is like my Achilles heel, and PSIR. So I'll share this in the next video. Meanwhile, in coming few videos, I'll be sharing my GS plus PSI note. This is my Politica note. So I have made these short notes of polity. I think I honestly didn't refer to Lakshmikant like in the last attempt at all. I didn't read line to line because I had already read it before, and I had made like really nice short notes, which if you want I can share it. So these are my short notes of polity. I've made I think short notes of all like topics of Lakshmikant, most of them. Thank you for watching till the end. In the next video, I'll be covering political science, international relations, essay, and ethics. To get notified of those videos, so please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any queries, comment down below. I'll read them and try to answer them all. Thank you.